Trying out a little new format today. Going to be streaming from some new software I'm testing out. So please forgive me if it's a little clunky or bumbly. But I wanted to jump on here today and address a question that I saw in a dietitian Facebook group this morning, and I figured we could have a little conversation about it. So the question that was posted was something to the effect of, I'm presenting two package options on my sales calls, but everyone keeps choosing the lower priced option. How do I get people to start investing in the higher priced option? So I don't know anything about this person. I didn't have any background. It was just this question had been posed, and it was interesting to see the type of answers that people were providing to this. Now, two things that we really need to pay attention to, or that'll really have an impact on this answer. The first one being is that if people are if you're presenting two types of packages and people are always choosing the lower priced package, it's likely because we're promising the same outcome in both packages, but just including different stuff in order to get there. So what that may look like is, hey, you can work with me one-on-one to get XYZ result, or you can watch this pre-recorded course to get XYZ result. And so what we're doing is we're saying, hey, you're able to get this outcome, and one is more expensive and requires more time, and one is cheaper and requires less time. People are always going to choose the cheaper option if they feel like they're going to be able to get the same outcome regardless of the program that they're using. So we need to be clear about the programs that we're offering. They deliver different results. We don't want to be, our lower price programs will always be cannibalizing our higher price programs if people feel like they can get the same result in each program. So how do we fix that? What do we change about that? Well, what we want to be looking at is how can we structure our programs so that they aren't delivering the same result in both programs. What we want to do is look at how can I offer a meaningful win in one program that is different from my other program. So if I was just going to use, let's say, a golf example, if my main expensive program is how to become a par golfer, how to become a scratch golfer, basically, how can I go to a course and just hit for par? Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. You got to learn how to drive. You got to learn how to chip. You got to learn how to putt. You got to learn how to choose clubs, how to read the fairway, adjust for wind. There's so many things you have to do. I mean, that could be like that. It takes years for people to get there if they ever get there. So that's going to be a big, huge, expensive program with lots of stuff to do. So if somebody wanted to become a scratch golfer, it's going to take years, if not longer, to be able to do that. And so that's the program that they're going to need to invest in. What I don't want to do is then offer them a 10-part or a 3-week course that promises to get them the same outcome. What I'd be much better off doing is saying, hey, look, if you're going to buy this lower price option, if that's more in your budget, all I want you to focus on is learning how to drive. Here's how to set up the ball on the tee. Here's how to take your driver. Here's how to hold it properly. And the only thing that we're going to be focusing on in this smaller program is how to hit a great ball off the tee. If once you start doing that, if you want to learn all these other things, great. I have a program to teach you how to chip and putt and all those other things. But the key distinction here is that we need to pay attention to, like, what are we promising in that initial program? And if people feel like they're going to get the same thing and one is just cheaper, well, they're always going to choose that cheaper option. So we need to structure our program so that it's clear that if somebody's going to join this one, this is the outcome. And if they want to get other outcomes, then we have a program for that as well. So make sure your lower price programs aren't cannibalizing your higher price programs by having a clear delineation about what the outcome is for each one. Now, if you just start trying to say, okay, you can get this lower price one, but that doesn't include one-on-one support or accountability, well, people are always going to be thinking, maybe I don't need that stuff. Maybe I can get the outcome. If the information is good enough, maybe I don't need that stuff. So there needs to be a clear difference between the outcomes of the two different programs. Secondly, and this will probably be an unpopular opinion to some people, but I think a better question to be asking would be, should I even be offering two programs? So what do I mean by that? Well, if you spend time with somebody on a sales call and you found out what they tried, what hasn't worked, what has worked, where they want to get to, how quickly they want to get there, you really understand their situation. You are the more informed person to be able to prescribe what that person needs to get this particular outcome. So if somebody says they want to lose 10 pounds, let's say, I believe it's your responsibility to only offer them the program that is going to deliver them the highest chances of accomplishing that goal. And if we give them half measures, something that's a much lower commitment, that doesn't give them the highest chance of achieving that thing, I think we're doing them a disservice. So I would rather see you offer your higher price program that includes all the steps necessary in order to get them that result, and not even offer the lower price thing. There's going to be some people that decide not to take it and say, hey, that's, that's too much for my budget, or I don't want to invest that much at this time, and that's okay. But the people that do invest in it are getting every chance, every opportunity, every tool, resource available in order to get them that outcome. So I believe that you're doing them a disservice if you're allowing them to prescribe their treatment protocol. So I've shared this example before, but years ago I had to have shoulder surgery, and I went to the surgeon, and the surgeon asked me questions about what I like to do, like my activity level. Um, he looked at my X-rays. He felt my shoulder. He really evaluated my situation. And he said, if you want to get back to being 100% where you can swim without pain, where you can throw a football, where you essentially don't feel like you had this injury anymore, what you have to do is you have to have surgery. You have to stay in a sling for 6 weeks after that surgery. And then you have to do 6 months of physical therapy at least 3 times a week. And if you do those things, you will be back to 100%. Well, he knew what what I needed to do in order to get back to 100%. What he didn't do is say, well, would you like to do the 1 month rehab? Would you like to do the 3 month rehab, or would you like to do the 6 month rehab option? Because he knew that in order to get back to 100%, there was really only one protocol that was going to get me there. It was surgery, it was staying in a sling, and it was doing 6 months of rehab. So I believe it's our responsibility as the person that's the expert in the relationship to be prescribing the thing that is going to give them the highest chance of getting that outcome. So, if you like this, if this is something that resonates with you, or have something to share about your own experience offering two different programs, I would love to hear it. So, I'm going to wrap it up for today. But if you like this format and you enjoy hopping on here, or would like to have more of these chats, leave something in the comments wherever you're watching this, and I would love to have a little chat with you. So that's all for now. I'm Grayson Carter, signing off. Take care.